The 2026 FIFA World Cup is less than 9 months away, and the excitement surrounding this tournament is growing each day. With the September international break coming to an end, 5 more teams have now qualified for the world's greatest sporting event that will be taking place next summer. Today, we're ranking the first 18 nations who have secured direct qualification to the 2026 FIFA World Cup based on their qualifying results, the strength of their current team, and their chances of success in next year's competition. 18 nations have successfully booked their tickets for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, so let's go ahead and rank them all. Starting with the first of the 3 host nations, we have Canada, who will be playing in their 3rd ever World Cup. Canada is an up-and-coming footballing nation who have some star players already, but their recent results have been a bit of a mixed bag. They finished in 4th place with the 2024 Copa America, followed by a disappointing quarterfinal loss to Guatemala in the Gold Cup back in June. Their most recent results have been more impressive, coming away with a 3-0 win over Romania and a 1-0 win over Wales in their most recent international friendlies. With big-name players like Alphonso Davies, Jonathan David, and Tejom Buchanan playing for big European clubs, Canada have enough talent to win some games, but making a deep run is a different story. Canada have the potential to deliver on home soil, but given how they've performed at major tournaments recently, the C tier is as high as they can go for now. Moving on to the second of the 3 host nations, we have Mexico, who will be playing in their 18th World Cup tournament. Mexico have seen the most success of the 3 host nations in recent years, winning the 2025 Gold Cup after a 2-1 victory against the United States, followed by another 2-1 victory over Panama in the CONCACAF Nations League final. Raul Jimenez, Edson Alvarez, and Santiago Jimenez are all great players for the Mexican side, but their defensive line could cause them some issues against faster teams who play a counter-attacking style of football. The only 2 times that Mexico made it to the quarterfinals were back in 1970 and 1986 when they hosted the tournament, so they could finally break their 40-year drought next year if they played to their level. Given Mexico's recent results and the importance of their home field advantage, they find themselves in the B tier today. Moving on to the country that will be hosting the majority of the matches next year, we have the United States, who will be playing in their 12th World Cup tournament. The United States are in a very precarious position at the moment, following their embarrassing exit from the 2024 Copa America group stages, followed by their loss to Mexico in the 2025 Gold Cup final. Even with the likes of Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, and Serginho Dest, the United States are really struggling to find their rhythm at the moment. The pressure and expectations that come from hosting a tournament might be starting to get to them, and if Mauricio Pochettino can't lead a side to victory, things could get pretty nasty for this team. When you factor in their recent results at major tournaments and the lack of chemistry within this side, they have to settle for the C tier today. Moving on to the first nation to earn their spot via the qualifiers, we have Japan, who will be playing in their 8th World Cup tournament. Japan have played 16 matches in the AFC qualifiers so far, winning 13, drawing 2, and losing 1, scoring 54 goals and conceding just 3 along the way. Takefusa Kubo, Junya Ito, and Ayase Ueda have been utterly dominant so far, combining for 33 goals and assists between the 3 players altogether. Japan will be looking to make it past the round of 16 for the first time in their history, and you never really know what kind of shock results this side can pull off. With a dominant qualifying campaign and some elite level talent on their side, Japan find themselves in the B tier today. Next up on the list is the only team to qualify directly from Oceania, which is New Zealand, who will be playing their 3rd ever World Cup tournament. New Zealand have had an extremely easy path to World Cup qualification, winning all 5 of their matches, scoring 29 goals and conceding just 1 along the way. Chris Wood leads the way with 9 goals for his side, while the rest of the team have little to no experience playing at an international tournament like the World Cup. New Zealand will be looking to replicate their miracle performance from 2010 when they went unbeaten, but it doesn't look like this side has what it takes to be a true dark horse in 2026. Given the team's lack of experience on the big stage and their relatively underwhelming opponents in the qualifiers, they have to settle for the F tier today. Moving on to another team from Asia, we have Iran, who will be playing in their 7th World Cup tournament. Iran played in 16 qualifying matches on their way to the World Cup, coming away with 11 wins, 4 draws, and 1 loss, scoring 35 goals and conceding 12 along the way. Mehdi Taremi and Sardar Azmoun are the star players for this side, scoring 9 goals between the 2 in Iran's qualifying matches. Iran seem to do very well in the AFC qualifiers, but their trend of failing to make it out of the group stages could continue at next year's competition. They might be able to grab some points if they have an easy group, but all things considered, Iran find themselves in the D tier for now. The next side on this list are the reigning defending world champions Argentina, who will be playing their 19th World Cup tournament. Argentina topped the CONMEBOL qualifiers with 38 points, coming away with 12 wins, 2 draws and 4 losses, scoring 31 goals and conceding 10 along the way. Even at 38 years old, Lionel Messi led the way with 11 goals and assists, followed by Julian Alvarez with 7 in second place. Argentina are still one of the strongest footballing nations in the world, as they look to be the first repeat champion since Brazil in 1958 and 1962. Considering how well they performed in the qualifiers and just how good their squad is on paper, Argentina goes straight into the S tier today. Moving on to the first of the two debutant nations, we have Uzbekistan, who will be playing in their first ever World Cup next year. Out of the 16 games they played in the qualifying rounds, Uzbekistan went on to win 10 matches, drawing 5 and losing 1 along the way, as they scored 27 goals and conceded just 11. It will be up to Eldor Shomurodov and Abdulkadir Husanov to lead their nation to glory, but the world's biggest stage might be too bright for these first-time entrants. Uzbekistan could go on to be a dark horse nation at next year's tournament if they get a relatively easy group stage draw, and the sky truly is the limit for this side. I would love to see them go on a deep run and surprise the entire world, but realistically speaking, Uzbekistan can only crack the D tier today. Going back to another Asian side, we have South Korea, who will be playing in their 12th World Cup tournament. South Korea played 16 games in the qualifying rounds, coming away with 11 wins, 5 draws and 0 losses, scoring 40 goals and conceding just 8 along the way. Heung-min Son leads the way with 14 goals and assists for his nation, while Kang-in Lee leads the way with 6 assists as well. South Korea will be looking to make it past the round of 16 for the first time since 2002, and given how strong they've looked so far, they could do just that if they get an easy draw. South Korea have the potential to shock a lot of people next year, so they'll go into the B tier for now. Moving on to the second of the two debutant nations, we have Jordan, who will be playing their first ever World Cup next year. Jordan played 16 games in the second and third rounds of the AFC qualifiers, coming away with 8 wins, 5 draws and 3 losses, scoring 32 goals and conceding 9 along the way. Musa Al-Tamari is the only Jordanian player who plays in one of Europe's top 5 leagues, but Yazan Al-Naimant has led the way for his nation with 14 goals and assists in the qualifying rounds. It's always difficult to predict how a debutant nation will do at the World Cup, but Jordan's lack of European footballing experience could come back to haunt them if they get a difficult draw next year. It's not going to be easy for Jordan at next year's tournament, as they find themselves in the F tier today. The next team to be ranked is Australia, who will be playing in their 7th World Cup tournament. Out of the 16 games they played in the qualifying rounds, Australia won 11 matches, drew 4 and lost 1, scoring 38 goals and conceding 7 along the way. With Craig Goodwin leading the way on attack, and with Jackson Irvine and Matthew Ryan anchoring the defense and goal, Australia have a decent side on paper. But apart from 2006 and 2022 when they made it to the round of 16, they've only won 1 out of 12 group stage matches in the other 4 tournaments they've played in, which is a pretty shocking stat. Unless they go on another miracle run, I don't see Australia going very far next year, so they'll have to settle for the D tier today. The next team on the list is Brazil, who will be playing in their 23rd World Cup tournament, the most of any footballing nation. Brazil finished 5th in CONMEBOL qualifying, coming away with 8 wins, 4 draws and 6 losses, scoring 24 goals and conceding 17 along the way. Rafinha led the way with 7 goals and assists, but there wasn't any one player who rose up to the occasion for Brazil in these qualifiers. The team is now being coached by Carlo Ancelotti, and he could be the spark that they need to get back to their winning ways. Brazil is always a favorite to win the World Cup, and even with their recent struggles, they still cracked the S tier today. Moving on to another South American nation, we have Ecuador, who will be playing in their 5th World Cup tournament. Ecuador had a very successful qualifying campaign, finishing in 2nd place with 29 points, even with a 3-point deduction, winning 8 games, drawing 8 and losing just 2. Enner Valencia led the way with 6 goals for his nation, with Moises Caicedo adding 3 assists as well. Ecuador have managed to win at least 1 game in the 4 World Cup tournaments they've played in, as they'll be looking to make it back to the round of 16 for the first time since 2006. There is a chance that Ecuador will emerge as a dark horse at next year's tournament, so they'll go into the C tier today. The next team on this list is Uruguay, who will be playing in their 15th World Cup tournament. Uruguay finished 4th in CONMEBOL qualifying with 28 points, coming away with 7 wins, 7 draws and 4 losses, scoring 22 goals and conceding 12 along the way. Darwin Núñez led the way for his nation with 7 goals and assists, while Sergio Rocher managed to grab an impressive 8 clean sheets. With Rodrigo Bentancur, Manuel Ugarte and Federico Valverde, Uruguay have a very strong midfield that should be capable of taking on some of the best teams in the world. With a healthy mix of youth and talent in this squad, Uruguay found themselves in the A tier today. Moving down the list, we have Colombia, who will be playing in their 7th World Cup tournament. Colombia finished 3rd in CONMEBOL qualifying, coming away with 7 wins, 7 draws and 4 losses, scoring 28 goals and conceding 18 along the way. Luis Diaz leads the scoring race with 7 goals, goals, while James Rodriguez contributed with 7 assists, with both players finishing on 10 goals and assists altogether. Colombia seemed to have found their momentum again after missing out on the 2022 World Cup, and we could see them make it back to the quarterfinals for the first time since 2014. All things considered, Colombia are looking like a team with some serious firepower, so they go into the B tier today. Moving on to the final South American team on this list, we have Paraguay, who will be playing in their 9th World Cup tournament. Paraguay clinched the final direct qualification spot after finishing 6th in CONMEBOL qualifying, coming away with 7 wins, 7 draws, and 4 losses from 18 matches, scoring 14 goals and conceding 10 along the way. Their team is led by Antonio Sanabria in attack and Miguel Almiron in midfield, the 2 experienced players who could lead their side to a few surprise results. The South American side made it all the way to the quarterfinals at their last World Cup in 2010, and something is telling me that they could go on a similar run this time around if things go their way. But given the team's inexperience on the world's biggest stage, they'll have to settle for the C tier today. Moving on to the first of the 2 African sides, we have Morocco, who will be playing in their 7th World Cup tournament. Morocco had a flawless run in their first 7 matches in the African qualifiers, coming away with 7 wins from 7 games, scoring 21 goals and conceding just 2 along the way. Achraf Hakimi is the talisman for this Morocco side, but with Ayoub El Kabi in attack and with Yassine Bono in goal, there is plenty of talent in every position on the pitch. Morocco had an incredible run to the semi-finals back in 2022, and it feels like they still have the talent and motivation to make yet another deep run in next year's competition. Morocco have all the necessary tools to take the world by storm yet again, as they find themselves in the A tier today. And last but not least, we have Tunisia, who will be playing in their 7th World Cup tournament. Tunisia have cruised their way to top spot in Group H in the African qualifiers, coming away with 7 wins and 1 draw from their first 8 matches, scoring 13 goals and keeping a clean sheet in every game so far. Tunisia have a mix of players playing in both Africa and Europe, but there isn't one big name that stands out among the rest. Tunisia will be looking to make it out of the group stage for the first time in their history, but even that may be too tall of a task for this relatively inexperienced squad. It will take a miracle and then some for this side to leave their mark on next year's tournament, so they'll have to settle for the D tier today. So there you have it, we've ranked all 18 nations who have so far qualified for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. There's still plenty of time until the first match kicks off on June 11th, and as more teams qualify for the tournament, this tier list is bound to change over the course of the next 9 months. Some teams might go up, some teams might fall down, and only time will tell how it eventually sorts itself out. But what did you think of my 2026 FIFA World Cup tier list? Are there any sides that are ranked too high, too low, or some that you'd move altogether? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more football content, tier lists, and everything in between, and as always, I'll catch you next time.